Welcome to Catholic News Roundup. I'm Christine Niles. Today's June 25th, 2026. Here are this week's top stories. Rome is smacking down Germany's synodal way. In a June 17th letter, the Vatican said no to a request by the German bishops seeking permission for laity to preach at Mass. From the letter, quote, "The reservation of the homily to a priest or deacon is not a merely disciplinary norm, but derives from the very nature of the liturgy, clarifying that the proclamation of the gospel is part of the exercise of the ministry of the ordained." This comes after Rome rejected Germany's request for a liturgical right to bless same-sex unions, also turning down Germany's request to set up a permanent synodal committee where bishops and lay people share in decision-making. In other news, it's bishop against bishop. Bishop Robert Barron is calling out an Italian prelate for trying to water down Catholic teaching. In a lengthy social media post, Barron slammed Archbishop Vincenzo Paglia, who admitted in an interview that as former head of the Pontifical Academy for Life, he tried to bend church teaching on natural law, moving it towards a more pastoral, subjective approach. Barron tweeted, quote, "What any truly coherent moral program requires is the very thing that Archbishop Paglia and his colleagues were endeavoring to eliminate, namely absolute moral norms. It's rare for bishops to publicly rebuke one another." Paglia was controversial during his tenure, known for commissioning a homoerotic mural in his church in 2007, depicting a partially nude Christ, a homosexual couple engaging in sexual acts, and a depiction of Paglia himself embraced by a semi-nude man. In government news, Trump's Department of Justice is suing New York on behalf of nuns. On June 18th, the DOJ announced it's intervening in a lawsuit brought by the Dominican Sisters of Hawthorne against the state of New York, after the state tried to force the nuns to house transgenders, build transgender bathrooms, and train staff in gender ideology. Failure to enact the changes could result in $10,000 in fines and up to 1 year in jail. The DOJ argues New York is violating the nuns' religious beliefs, which forbid the acceptance or embrace of gender ideology. The Dominicans of Hawthorne have been providing free care to terminally ill cancer patients for 100 years. In sports, Major League Baseball is backing down after targeting Christians for their rejection of LGBT pride. Backlash was swift after MLB leadership warned 3 San Francisco Giants players they were not permitted to write Bible verses on their caps. On Pride Night, Landon Roop, JT Brubaker, and Ryan Walker wore pride caps with the text Genesis 9:11-16 on them. Those verses refer to the rainbow as a sign of God's covenant with man. Roop spoke about it at a press briefing.
You know, the rainbow is a symbol of God's covenant to us, and us as believers stand firm in that. There's no hate at all. It's just what I stand for and what I stand in. I believe in God, and yeah, that's me.
MLB spokesman Pat Courtney issued a formal warning to them, quote, "The writing on the cap violates our rules." Uproar followed, with accusations of anti-Christian discrimination and U.S. Assistant Attorney General Harmy Dillon launching an investigation. Quote, "Swing and a miss. Major League Baseball encouraged players to wear Black Lives Matter on their uniforms, but reportedly threatened Christians who write Bible verses on their hats. U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission will investigate whether this amounts to religious discrimination." The San Francisco Archdiocese is defending the Giants players, saying in a statement, "People of faith should not be compelled to hide or suppress their sincerely held religious convictions in public life, including in the world of professional sports." MLB responded this week to the government inquiry, saying it would not discipline the Giants players and insisting it does not discriminate based on religion. The incident follows anti-Catholic bias at the Washington Nationals, when its spokesman was exposed mocking starting pitcher Trevin Williams for his Catholic faith. After uproar, the Nationals fired the spokesman and apologized to Williams. In related news, a baseball team canceled Pride Night after all but one of its players refused to wear Pride jerseys. On June 17th, Pennsylvania's York Revolution announced it was forfeiting its game, blaming its decision on the players' refusal to don the LGBT shirt, throwing its players under the bus by calling their conduct completely inconsistent with the team's pro-LGBT stance.
I would ask the community for understanding. Running an organization in this way, with these difficult dynamics, having to find a solution to these complex problems without a clean solution is a difficult task, and there's no good way to get everybody everything that they want. But our primary function as Wellspan Park in York, Pennsylvania, is to welcome the community in and be the most welcoming place in York.
Management donated $10,000 to an LGBT activist group as a form of apology. And in the UK, a Catholic may be the next Prime Minister. Keir Starmer announced his abrupt resignation Monday as leader of the Labour Party, making way for the next likely candidate, Andrew Burnham, a lapsed Catholic. Burnham was raised Catholic, served as an altar boy at Mass, and refers to his Catholic faith as shaping his views. While his 3 children attend Catholic schools, Burnham himself says he's no longer particularly religious and dissents on church teaching on homosexuality and abortion. As British journalist Ed Penton noted, the day Starmer resigned and Burnham announced his candidacy was June 22nd, the feast of St. Thomas More, quote, the 16th century English martyr and patron saint of politicians who died rather than compromise his fidelity to the church. Yet another clinic is ending its transgender treatments for children. As part of a settlement with the DOJ, the Cleveland Clinic is forbidden to give minors puberty blockers, hormone treatments, and other transgender services. It's also forbidden to refer minors to outside providers for such treatments. The clinic must also pay $2 million to providing care for ex-transgenders who've detransitioned. This comes after a similar settlement with Texas Children's Hospital last month, which banned all transgender treatments for minors and agreed to pay $10 million for care to detransitioners. The U.S. government is pulling sexually explicit content for children. The Department of Health and Human Services announced this week it's ending $67 million of grants for teen pregnancy prevention after discovering the programs included sexually explicit, age-inappropriate content. One curriculum promoted gender ideology while walking minors on how to obtain abortions. Another curriculum for adolescents encouraged the use of pornography, while another promoted engaging in same-sex acts. The Vatican is calling for a worldwide halt to surrogacy. At the United Nations Monday, the Vatican, along with Italy, Chile, and Cameroon, issued a declaration urging a global moratorium on the practice of surrogacy. The $100 billion industry is heavily criticized as violating human dignity, treating women and babies as commodities to be bought and sold on the market. Children born from surrogacy often face abandonment, mistreatment, and separation from their mothers, leading to serious emotional and psychological problems. There's also evidence surrogacy overlaps with human trafficking, with traffickers standing to profit hundreds of thousands of dollars by forcing women to be impregnated and to sell their babies. That is this week's Catholic News Roundup. Please go to stellamaris.media to sign up to our email list for all the latest news and updates. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless your week. I'm Christine Niles.